I mean, you can sort of see how, like, as you build up these animals, you start getting a fairly large amount of money just constantly coming in
Oh
for
yeah.
very little work.
I don't think there's anything to harvest today. Oh, no, there are. There's some eggplants down here.
Here, I'll
Alright.
take care of the animals, I guess. Although you may have to milk the
Yeah,
cows.
I think we're gonna reverse roles because now I've got the bucket. The cow gives me like a heart. It's like, yeah, it was good for me too.
Money's in the table. Now we have to buy some feed at some point here, though.
Does it show the quantity
Egg, okay.
of how much hay we have left, or no?
You can go click on the,
Silo.
yeah.
109 out of 240.
That's not ideal, but it's not horrible either.
It's almost half.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, so still no pumpkins, and still no cranberry seeds. I keep forgetting to check the mushroom cave. Because who wants to eat mushrooms? I mean, come on. Oh, did you say did you say you needed a large milk?
Yes.
I have one large milk here. I'm gonna put it in the white chest.
Thank you.
Ooh, chocolate cake. Where'd you get that from?
I don't know, actually.
Go on it. I would love some chocolate cake. Okay, so...
Would you say your favorite type of cake is chocolate?
Oh, yeah. I had to think about it for a second. I almost said, like, no, but...
Well, chocolate cake, like, any specific type of chocolate? Do you go chocolate frosting as well?
Flat out German... Not German, sorry. Just flat out chocolate cake, chocolate icing. Can't beat it.
Do you go buttercream for the frosting, or do you like cream cheese or the sort of like store icing?
To be honest with you, I would almost prefer no icing at all on my cakes, because the chocolate cake by itself is usually pretty damn good.
No, I can kind of agree there.
A lot of times, too much icing kind of ruins stuff for me.
Yeah, I think a thin icing sort of is one of the best options. Okay, so we got animal bundle's been upgraded a bit. Artisan bundle, I think I can add a few things to. I'm gonna eventually need to get, I think, like, if we get some jellies, some goat cheese at some point, we'll probably need to plant some fruit trees. Oh, we could get away with the fruit trees if we get the rest of the stuff.
Oil maker makes gourmet truffle oil. I don't know how to...
Yeah, we don't have truffles, though.
Just trying to think, what was it? Oh, the keg.
Damn.
That's right. I can make a keg now, or a preserves jar, so we can either turns vegetables into pickles and fruits into jam. And the keg, place a fruit or vegetable in here. Eventually, it will turn into a beverage.
Yep.
So you think we should try to get into that, or
I think it would definitely help us in the long run.
just to keep them kind of growing?
Yeah. Damn, we need a Nautilus shell.
I don't even know if I have any of the oak resin. I think is what it said I needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I have one.
Yeah, we need some night fish. We could have the fishing bundle done pretty soon. Glittering boulder removal. That's not really not that great.
Yeah, I was going to ask you earlier what that leads to, because I wasn't sure.
It just adds in a thing where you can start panning for gold in the water occasionally.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly don't know how it works. I could never figure it out.
Doesn't sound too amazing.
That's not that great. You have to carry another thing around with you, and it doesn't seem to happen that often. But I mean, it is still like one of the big quests, so, you know, it has some value.
here's a keg. Wood, stone, coal. There's the stone. There's the coal. And there's the preserves thing.
Hmm.
I can't do anything with them, I don't think, because I've already... Actually, no, wait, we have... Yeah, salmon berries. I bet I could put salmon berries in both of them.
You can.
And make
I
something
think.
out of salmon berries.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was holding on to the salmon berries, is like, we can make jam out of it. And salmon berries themselves don't sell for much, but you can get like 100 salmon berries really easily in the season, then make it all in jam and have, a decent amount of money.
Perfect. I'm just going to keep using these for that then. I'm glad that we've been saving them.
Mm-hmm.
You knew what you were doing.
Maybe like 20% of the time. We'll get like really weird issues like imposter syndrome at points with stuff like that.
I'm going to process some of these geodes and keep clay long after 4 o'clock, I think. Or Clint.
Makes sense.
Clint. I think his name's Clint.
Yeah. You might be open till 5.
Either way. Ooh, that looks new. A slate. It's extremely resistant to water, making it a good roofing material.
Oh, slate?
Yeah.
I got to actually go into a slate mine once.
Salt mines, slate mines.
Yeah. Well, it was in England. We were visiting family. But we took a tour through one, which was kind of awesome. But the best part about it was they had a big lake out in the middle, which was, fairly toxic because of the mining. This is an older mine, it shut down. But the thing is, there was a giant stack of, slag slate that couldn't be used for anything else. But slate is, the best type of skipping stone in the world, because it's perfectly flat. And there's a big lake there, so, I spent, 20 minutes just skipping slates, all the way across the lake.
Can't tell you how long it's been since I've skipped rocks. I know it's a thing, but I have just had no reason to ever be in a place to do it, and then want to do it, I suppose.
You've done it at some point, I imagine.
Yeah, probably when I was, a young teenager.
When I was an ignorant child. Oh, shit. Got a lively fish. Oh, by the way, I was, in terms of the Mega Man thing in Monster Hunter, I was wrong. There is a weapon. There's 2 tickets.
What is it?
The Mega Man arm cannon.
Is it a bow gun, or...?
No, it's a Palico weapon.
Oh, okay.
Just completes the outfit.
Fitting. Do I have that arm cannon?
Yep. Be a little hard to beat the game without it. I've gotten a sea cucumber and a super cucumber.
Never actually played a Mega Man game. Actually, that's not true.
Wait, really?
I played God, I had one on my Game Boy Advance, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and I beat the shit out of it. But it was
I
like...
think that must be one of the Zero games.
I think it was like called it was Mega Man like Battle Network or something like that. It was super
Oh.
fucking fun.
Yeah, I remember there was like a huge like controversy with the fact that series basically ended with no resolution because it was like it was a massive fan favorite and just they never fucking kept it going.
I loved it. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
I've never actually played one of one of the Battle Network games, but I heard they were great. I mean, from what I heard, they're like nothing like the usual Mega Man games, but I mean,
No,
like
they're,
as a
they're
different
not.
game.
It's kind of like a turn-based, kind of
Yeah.
like RPG-ish, real-time
Yeah.
reaction kind of thing.
Well, if you ever get interested, like Mega Man X, in my mind, is like one of the best Mega Man games ever made. I mean, on the GameCube, I had a collection of like all the Mega Man X games, like Mega Man X 1 through 8, and I literally beat all of them in a row. Such a good game series.
That's that was a big recurring theme. It seemed like for the GameCube, like it was a system that got a lot of all-in-one games, like the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition.
Yeah,
they had like a Mario Collector's Edition.
Yeah, I had a few of those.
They had a Metroid one. Like it was just
Oh,
all
yeah.
the games, on one disc.
I think the Wii got a bunch of those too. What?
It's a shame that console never really took off.
The GameCube did pretty well. Certainly had a hell of a following, even if it was never as big a financial success as some of the other ones.
There weren't even a lot of games that came out for it, I don't believe.
No, it didn't have a ton of it. The problem is Nintendo's never had third-party support up until like the Wii, and arguably the Switch is certainly getting a shit ton of third-party support right now, just because it's sold so insanely well.
Yeah, the Wii. Oof.
Listen, I liked. I had a Wii.
Well, I'm not saying the Wii was bad.
They let anybody make shit.
They
Yeah,
let
that was
anybody make some of the worst shovelware games ever. A lot of them were just reskinned and made like by the same people. Just reskinned. They were like apps.
It was bad, yeah. But I mean, the Wii had some really good titles on it. And I mean, that's the only game system I've ever actually waited out in front of a store for.
Really?
And it was actually a fun time. Just because at the time, it was a friend of mine who I went to martial arts with wanted to get one to resell. And so I just wanted to pick one up myself since it had a Zelda title, and I fucking love Zelda games. So I decided I'd go in, try it out for once, stand out in front of a Walmart all night, and grab one. So it was kind of funny, though, is as we're standing there, the two of us are in line, this car pulls up, and in the car is some kids from the martial arts school that I literally helped teach at for the time. And it's them and their mother, and the mother is sitting there like, "No, I'm not letting you stay out here. This is not safe to be staying all overnight. You don't know these people." And all of a sudden, it's like, "Oh, look." They just pointed at us, and I was like, "Oh, okay, they're here. That's fine." And just literally was like, "All right, you guys, you're okay with taking the kids?" Like, "Yeah, we're fine." So we just sat there and played Munchkin with the kids and other shit the entire time.
Munchkin.
Oh, hey,
I don't know what that is.
Munchkin is a card game. It's kind of a joke card game. You have to have a special deck of cards for it, but it's basically it's an RPG card game where the idea is to get to level 10 as fast as possible. But the entire thing is just this ridiculous sort of parody of adventure games. And the way the game runs is you earn levels by completing certain actions, and then at the first person hit level 9, so they're about to win, every fucking person just turns on them immediately. So it becomes this insanely evil game of screw your buddy at that point.
Right.
Hey, the ducks are all grown up.
Good.
Yeah, Munchkin is a fun game as long as you're playing with people that can, sort of take a joke. As it can be a very brutal game to play if you don't want to be the first one to do well.
Well, everyone wants to win, so...
Yeah, you want to be third or fourth in line, because by that point most people have run out of their really good, screw you tactics. Like, I remember one in particular where you do things like, okay, so to gain level, you have to kill a monster. So you'd start your turn, you go looking for trouble, you pull out like a level 1 monster out of your own deck, and like, alright, I'm gonna attack this thing. And you just watch as everybody kind of glances back and forth amongst themselves, shuffles through their cards, and finally somebody will be like, alright, that monster's now 18, has 18 more levels attached onto it. Next person's line's like, yeah, there's actually 2 of them now. You're like, okay, fuck, so I'm not facing level 36 monster or something. And then you get destroyed by it and have to go back and, you know, try again. The next person in line gets screwed over a little bit more.
Yeah.
Until somebody finally reaches that level and has just enough luck not to get killed immediately.
What was I gonna ask? I was gonna make like a joke. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was something along the lines of like, you were talking about how you kind of help teach those kids, and for some reason I was just imagining like you're like that one full-grown adult, you know, taking karate lessons, you know, with like all the little kids.
Listen, just think Rex Kwando. That was basically me.
God.
You know, let's get roundhouse kick from these bad boys.
Real quick, do we need any cranberries or amaranths before I sell them?
You need an amaranth for one of the quests, so if you have 2 of them, might be good.
I don't think I accepted it though, did I?
Oh, you haven't been accepting some of them?
Well, I thought I had a timer on it or something.
I don't think there's a timer on most, anyway.
Okay, we don't need any cranberries for any bundles, right?
Don't think so.
Okay, well, let's hope not. Okay. I'm gonna go buy some more seeds, because we have nothing at all to plant, and I've got holes now. Oh, hey, blackberries. And there are plums, seemingly laying around everywhere all of a sudden.
Oh, blackberries are in season now, though?
Yes.
Okay, I should go collect a bunch of those. Now, do you mean, like, on bushes or just laying around?
No, well, there's plums laying on the ground. Blackberries are on bushes.
Alright, I'm gonna head north. Or actually, I'll head south and start checking for bushes down there.
Okie dokie. I'm gonna go buy some seeds from this overpriced jerk.
Oh, don't speak ill of my look-alike. I'm sure I have my reasons. Okay, the grass is starting to grow a little bit.
Alright, that's all I'm gonna get for now. That should definitely hold us over for a while. I think this is gonna be the last night I'm gonna be able to play, though, sadly.
That's fine. Oh, actually, if you get a chance, you should check the hardwood area. I'm clearing all the areas around it, but I can't really clear the hardwood area without a good axe.
Oh, right.
If you want to just get the hardwood and also check it for berries, that might be a good idea. Just figure we want to kind of maximize our berry input.
Yeah. There's not 5 things. You have no reward for me? Fuck off.
Yeah, it does seem weird, like what the breakpoints on that are. I'm not sure I fully follow it.
Oh well. What's this lady standing next to the bus want?
Oh, she's the bus driver.
Isn't she the lady that drinks a lot? No, that's not her.
Well, I mean, can't it be both?
That doesn't seem safe.
Well, I mean, we get killed by monsters and we just come right back. I'm guessing we're pretty much immortal.
Pretty much, he says.
Close enough.
Okay. Okay, whatever this was. Oh, god damn it. Character is facing one way, then the action is in a different direction, because my mouse is in that direction, so I accidentally chop out a fucking pumpkin seed I just planted. That's not annoying. Wait, these aren't pumpkin seeds. These are yams.
We need yams too, though.
I
Just
never
only
really
one of
liked
them.
Yams that much.
I'm not sure I've really had any.
I didn't like them that much. They tasted mushy. I'd rather have potatoes.
I'm a bad Irish person. Not really. There's not a lot of things I eat that have a ton of potato in them.
Well, potatoes are amazing, though.
I've heard that, and I believe it to a certain extent. Like, fried potatoes are fucking amazing. But every time I've had potatoes, it really just feels like there's just nothing to them. It's kind of like tasteless mush. Or, you know, whatever you add to it, you're just tasting that. Of course, then again, I'm also from Maine, and I'm not really a big fan of seafood, so I'm already a heretic.
Yeah, that is weird there. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I've eaten lobster, I think, once, and I was just thoroughly unimpressed. I haven't tried crab, but then again,
You never had crab? Wait, what?
Nope.
Really?
Don't think so.
That's surprising. Crab meat's awesome. I never had lobster, though, so... I always associate one with the other for some reason.
No, they're pretty similar. We were dating somebody at one point where, I mean, she really loved seafood, so I just would, take us out to, like, seafood restaurants pretty often, just kind of sit there and watch and kind of, sort of morbid fascination as she'd be, like, tearing these things apart.
You're just sitting there just watching her while she eats. Nothing.
Well, I was eating myself, too, but I mean...
You make it sound like you were just, like, chin on your hand, just...
No, I legitimately watched that at one point, because she'd never had a full lobster before. She'd only had, like, lobster tail or something. So we went to this place called the Lobster Shack down at Two Lights State Park, which is, like, a really awesome place. It's a little kind of hole-in-the-wall area, but it's, like, one of the best restaurants you'll find for, like, a lobster roll. And I just got her a full lobster, since they're cheap as hell. And... I literally just sat there and kind of watched her eat it because I was just trying to, like, she didn't know how to break it down either, and the two of us were kind of figuring it out together with, like, all the weird tools and the crackers and stuff like that.
How do you eat this thing? I don't know.
Listen, it's a production. I mean, I'm not sure who the fuck looked at one and was like, we could probably eat that if we tried hard enough.
Just break it open. Give me a rock.
And I guess technically it was considered like poor person food for a long time.
Well, I mean, anything that there's an excessive amount of would most likely eventually become associated with, lower class.
Well, I know fishermen used to just chop them up and throw them back to the fish. Or the seagulls, I should say.
I'm doing my part. In reducing the lobster population.
Goddamn sea bugs.
They're like the flies of the sea. I just assume that lobster tastes like crab.
I don't think it does, from what I've heard.
And we can't really discuss this because you've never had crab and I've never had lobster, so we have no common ground.
Well, clearly at some point you need to come visit when I'm in, Maine and get a lobster. Like an actual Maine lobster, because apparently it's like fucking sacrilege to not have like an actual Maine lobster.
Can't have one of them Gulf lobsters. Get the fuck out of here. Those Mexican lobsters, they're not flavored right. They taste like oil.
Well, I know that people in Maine get, like, very touchy about, like, never frozen, Maine lobster, best type. Fuck those other lobsters.
Well, yeah, I mean, but how do you expect people to transport them inland if they're not frozen?
That's actually easy. That one I know.
Keep them alive?
Oh yeah, you can keep them alive. Yeah, you keep them alive all the time. I mean, technically, a lot of people keep them alive even when you cook them. So I mean, it's not surprising you transport them alive. But yeah, what they do is like if you ordered like fresh Maine lobster where you live right now, what they do is they'd have a local fisherman catch them. They'd toss them into a crate, usually like a styrofoam crate with ice and seaweed filling it. You'd toss in a little bit of seawater as well, and they'd seal it all up so it's almost airtight. And then they toss it in a plane and ship it off. And as long as they get it there in a day or two, they'll still be alive and in good shape. It's actually not even as expensive as you might think.
Well, probably not, but I guess it depends on how many stops are made and exchanges have to be done. Because every time, that happens, you're going to lose. Like, the prices have to go up a little bit, at least.
Yeah.
You got to pay Peter to rob Paul, or whatever the expression is. I can't remember.
Well, Peter does have to fuck Paul somehow. I got 53 berries.
Blackberry? Dang. I only picked like 2.
I picked all the rest.
I just didn't care enough to go looking for them. I've spent so many fucking days of my life actually picking blackberries that I don't even want to do it in the virtual world.
I can't blame you.
Although blackberry cobbler is amazing.
I was actually thinking, you mentioned apple cobbler, like apple crisp earlier, and God, that stuff is so goddamn good. I love making apple pie too, but like apple cobbler is so good and it's so much easier. I think I'm set for today. You want to end here?
After I put some crap up. Yeah, I want to see how much money we made.
Yeah. I probably didn't make as much since I just got, I was just doing berry collecting, mostly.
I can technically put this trash in the recycling thing. Yeah, okay. See what it makes. Alright. Probably didn't make too much money today, but... Holy shit. Damn, those cranberries really turned out. Wow.
That was worth a lot.
My friend was right when he said grow cranberries.
Of course, we got a ton of them, so I guess maybe they just spawn a lot each time or something. But yeah, that's worth a lot.